the field ranges widely. And I think it was a study I'd seen 3 years ago. They looked at 100 colleges' websites, disability services sites. And I think of that roughly 100, 10% or 10 said that they would take just an IEP or 504 plan by itself. So again, I don't know how greatly representative that is of my field in general, but that is something to be aware of. There are some schools for which that will be enough. When it comes to learning disabilities, often what we want to see is a psychoeducational evaluation testing of their cognitive ability and their academic ability. Um, I mean, boy, the stuff I see people telling each other, oh, you have to go get a private evaluation because that's going to be the best. I read dozens and dozens of reports every year, and many of the private reports I read are not any more meaningful or detailed than the school reports I see. So, some of my good friends do this testing, and they would not mind my saying that, um, I I can see there being value in private testing for different reasons, but it's certainly not a guarantee of anything. And I would suggest parents who do want to do that, do their shopping carefully. I have two posts on my website about how to get quality testing that isn't just a regurgitation of scores and descriptions of the tests, but actually talk about what the student is doing during the testing. And also, you don't get more or better, whatever the people think. Those are accommodations simply by getting private testing. So, we don't have to provide everything that or anything that somebody's listed as a recommendation. We consider it, but we are not obligated that because Dr. Hamblet put 20 accommodation suggestions in my report that we have to provide it. When it comes to ADHD, again, they may be required to have the same kind of testing students with learning disabilities have. Now, sometimes people will say, well, what about a neuropsychological exam? So, my experience in reading these is that what's in them varies. So, typically, it's psychoeducational testing plus additional tests of executive functioning and memory and some other additional measures. Most schools don't require that for any kind of condition. Again, parents tell each other that you got to get the neuropsych. It's better. You'll get more, whatever. That is such an individual thing. It depends on how well the report is written again and what it shows, what the results show. So, um, they might not need it again. Autism, they might need testing just to objectively show that there is a need for academic accommodations. For the other non-apparent disabilities like mental health illnesses or physical disabilities, there might need a letter from whoever has identified it, whoever's treating it. Sometimes colleges ask those professionals to complete a form that prompts them to provide the kind of information that they're looking for. And when it comes to sensory disabilities or physical disabilities, if you are a student's a wheelchair user or a student is blind, um, they may not require any documentation at all.